Good day everyone, and welcome to another Radio Silence review. So today you can see what we are dealing with here. So got a full disclosure on this one. This product was sent to me by one of the reps over at Airtech Studios. Basically they contacted the Scorpion Evo's owner page on Facebook and asked for a handful of people to review the product for the page and for other purposes as well. So if you're not sure about what this is the latest Airtech Studios product. Now I do have every other Airtech Studio kind of piece in this. I've got the hop-up wheel and I've also got the stock stabilizer in the back here. So this latest product is pretty much just, I push this back, you'll see exactly what it is. So it's basically like a little clamp that will go over the top of the Picatinny rail on your Scorpion Evo and will prevent your charging handle from ejecting out of this kind of section here, out of your hand guard. So if you have problems where you're constantly losing the bolt handle or the spring inside, this is just going to be something that's a lot easier to kind of keep you right. So just first thing, let's be clear, this is a quality of life product. It's not an essential item that you would need for your Scorpion Evo. It's certainly not something that I would have thought, yes, I need this. The stock stabilizer and the hop-up wheel adjuster, those are 100% items that I would want and would need in my Evo because they make things a little bit better. As you can see from the image, this is going to run over the top of the Picatinny rail. So one of my concerns would be, whenever I'm placing this over the handguard on the SMG version, it significantly minimizes the amount of space that you will have on it. Like for example, I obviously would record with this, so on here I'll have a run cam mounted, and this just takes up the entire space of where I would actually put that run cam. So this isn't something that I could use when I'm running a camera setup on my rifle, or if you have some other sort of crazy setup and a bunch of stuff on it, then fair enough, like this probably isn't going to be as useful for you. And to be fair, it's not going to be something that I would take on and off. It would be something I'd probably leave on. So I mean, I don't record every single time I'm out with this, so I mean I can still use it for the majority of the time, but it's not something that I would take my cam off, put this on, and then take the handguard off just to make sure that the charging handle doesn't go AWOL. So just bear that in mind. Obviously this is something you probably want to keep on the rifle, but it's entirely up to you. If you purchase the product, if it suits you to take it on and off, well, fair enough, that's entirely up to you. But I just wanted to give my opinion on how I would actually use this product. So it's pretty self-explanatory whenever it comes to installation. You got an Allen key here, you got your bolt and nut, and then your two kind of plastic pieces. So I'm going to open this right here. As you can see, it's not being touched. Thought you would have to tear it, but I guess not. That's it. And of course you get you don't really need instructions with it anyway, but it's the packaging. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys how easy this is to install. And I've never touched this before, so this will be the first time installing it. Boop. And then the little nut rest in there. That's pretty much it. Kind of goes together. Tighten it up. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Place this here. Place this here. Drum key. Just tighten up like so. That is it. So it is now successfully installed. As you can see, it is extremely neat on there. In fact, a lot neater than I thought it would be, which is really nice. So, it basically means that whenever I take this handguard off, things aren't going to go shooting off. So let's just basically demonstrate that right now. So, as you can see, we're not going to lose our charging handle or spring. To be fair, that is pretty sweet little mod. So if you're prone to losing things, this is going to be a product for you. Okay. Let's put it back on. Doesn't take much to demonstrate exactly what this thing is built for and designed for, so. And we're back. So, one of the biggest cons to this is that you won't be able to lock back the charging handle. So right in here you can see that there's this cutaway which the bolt handle will rest in whenever you kind of pull it back and up, much like the MP5. So you won't be able to lock back, and therefore the ejection port will not kind of stay open either. However, like many Evo owners, mine kind of gets kind of sticky anyway, so it'll just kind of stay there, and I'm obviously not touching anything here. It's just the way mine goes. So not such a big deal for me. Just gonna have to slide that back. But for some people who actually make sure that it works, then fair enough. It will be a bit of a drawback for them. But at the same time, holding it back whenever it's shouldered and kind of just holding that charging handle back and just adjusting the hop-up wheel isn't going to be that big a deal anyway, if you ask me. So it's not necessarily a huge con. For me, the pros would outweigh the cons for that. So I would rather have a charging handle than and one that actually doesn't lock the bolt back and the ejection port back than not have a charging handle at all. That kind of covers that. In terms of the quality of the plastic used, it is a pretty thick plastic and it's not 3D printed. So my biggest gripe would be a lot of airsoft products right now, and there's a lot of things coming out 3D printed, including ASG even announced a 3D printed handguard for the Evo and everything, which just wasn't going to be for me. I'm not a huge fan. I just don't think the durability is there, and it's not going to last long. And for the price of it, you would expect something that will actually last long. So definitely a drawback if it was 3D printed, but the material used is perfectly fine. One of the last things to talk about here, guys, then is going to be the price of this product, which in my opinion is probably one of the most important factors in a decision I would make on buying this. So the current pre-order price for this is $12.99, and that's in US dollars. So in my personal opinion, if it was something you needed, it's not a bad price. I'm kind of reluctant to say that, because to be fair, $12.99 is a fair price. But if it was something I genuinely needed, it's a great product. It's very low profile. It doesn't kind of make your Evo look a little bit weird or something, like there's something on it that shouldn't be there. So it very much kind of blends in naturally with the Evo itself. They've got the shape and all down. It does look nice. But in terms of the price, I think if it's something you want, it's a fair price. If it's something that you don't need and just think it's another upgrade for the Evo, I'm just going to stick on there, maybe not so much worth it. So guys, if you have any questions about it, I don't think there will be any questions, to be fair, because it's very self-explanatory. But if you have any questions or queries or anything, obviously let me know in the comments section below. Also, I'm going to be posting this to the Scorpion Evo Facebook page, so you guys will be able to check this out here, and hopefully this will help make your decision. I know a lot of guys were kind of skeptical about this, and it's not something that's really needed, etc. But personally, I think if you lose your charging handle or have issues with it popping out every so often, fair enough. I have actually heard people saying about putting a turn in one of the kind of rings on the spring, which will just pretty much lock that spring in that little bit tighter. But again, you've got the whole issue with the charging handle and whatnot, so it's entirely up to you whether this is worth it. Personally, I would purchase it because it looks neat, it does the job. That's really what you want. And in my opinion, Airtech Studios seem to be all about those quality of life upgrades. Massive thank you again to Airtech Studios for sending me the product for review. Again, I'm a huge fan, but I'm not letting that kind of bias sway me on this. And as always, guys, a big thank you to our sponsor, UK Fob. So go over to ukfob.co.uk and use discount code RS5 for 5% off anything in store. Appreciate you guys taking the time to view this, and I hope this was helpful for you. Any questions, let me know. Take it easy.